Security guards reportedly shot one man dead and seriously wounded a second outside the headquarters of the National Security Agency in Maryland this morning. The men allegedly tried to ram a vehicle into the entrance gate at Fort Meade, where the NSA building is located. Police and emergency crews are now at the scene outside the installation's gate, around 20 miles northeast of the nation's capital. Representatives for Fort Meade and the U.S. Army could not be immediately reached for comment.
Based on those pictures there, clearly an alarming incident right at that security gate. I mean, these facilities, very secure. They keep the security cordon quite far from the building on purpose, so you will have a gate like this, hundreds of yards from the actual facility. But still, the fact that a car, and it looks like, got this close, shots were fired. You hear this from the Anne Arundel County Police in Maryland saying, according to those police, one dead, one critical, and one security officer in transit to a medical facility. That, again, coming from a tweet from police in the area there. But again, the NSA not commenting. Regardless, based on the pictures, based on what police are saying, at a minimum, a serious security incident outside one of the most secure government facilities in the Washington area, as you'd expect. This is the NSA, one of the most secretive of the big five intelligence agencies, and great concern in all these agencies that they are the target potentially for attacks. You might remember, Carol, a number of years ago, there was a shooting outside the CIA headquarters. This is a real concern. Security has been, very severe in light of that concern, that threat. And today, it appears that there's been an attack there, but again, the NSA not commenting or confirming at this point.
Yeah, and just to describe the building for people not familiar with this area, the NSA building is enormous. It's sort of, it has, as I recall, it's glass covered. You can't see into the building, but it's huge, and I would assume that there are thousands and thousands of employees working inside that building.
There are, and it's similar to other intelligence facilities such as the CIA and other of the most secure intelligence agencies, and they have security like this for a reason. They have a big setback from public roads and public access areas. You will have a gate many hundreds of yards perhaps from where those buildings are, so that if something like this were to happen, assuming that this was an attack, that would be kept at quite a safe distance from the facility. That said, keep in mind that there are people coming in and out of that gate all the time, employees. There are security officers posted at that gate. They certainly face a risk. And even in those pictures that we're showing right now, they're on the air right now, it appears earlier you could see what appeared to be a body under a white sheet. Again, no confirmation from the NSA, but certainly just based on those pictures, based on comments from Anne Arundel County Police in Maryland, which I know you know well, Carol, from being from this area, that there was a shooting, that there was one dead, one injured, one critical, and an officer transported to a medical facility.
Was it a mistake to sign this law?
Absolutely not.
Indiana Governor Mike Pence on the defensive over the new religious freedom law sparking protests and boycotts. Opponents say it will allow businesses to turn away gay and lesbian customers on religious grounds. On ABC's This Week, Pence blames the media.
There's been a tremendous amount of misinformation and misunderstanding around this bill, and I'm just determined. And I appreciate the time on your program. I'm just determined to clarify this.
The firestorm comes amid criticism from business. CEOs from Apple to Yelp lashing out, and Angie's List, which is based in Indianapolis, canceling a planned expansion there. The NCAA, preparing to host its college basketball Final Four in Indianapolis next weekend, saying, "We are especially concerned about how this legislation could affect our student athletes and employees." Former NBA star Charles Barkley piling on the pressure. As long as anti-gay legislation exists in any state, I strongly believe big events such as the Final Four and Super Bowl should not be held in those state cities. But Pence made it clear he's not going to change the law or consider a bill making gays and lesbians a protected class, like in many other states.
I will not push for that. That's not on my agenda. This is not about discrimination. This is about protecting the religious liberty of every Hoosier, of every faith.
But deflecting repeated questions about its impact.
Yes or no, should it be legal to discriminate against gays and lesbians?
George, you're following the mantra of the last week online.
The White House quick to react.
And when you have a law like this one in Indiana that seems to legitimize discrimination, it's important for everybody to stand up and speak out.
There are now 20 states with some form of religious freedom law on the books. But the blowback in Indiana could deter others from pursuing such laws.
Our city thrives because we have welcomed and embraced diversity. And RFRA threatens what thousands of people have spent decades building. And I won't allow that to happen to Indianapolis without a fight. 40 years of history as one of the most hospitable communities in America should not be placed in jeopardy with this act. This isn't about politics. This is not about PR. This is about doing what's right for individuals, for our city. I have issued an executive order affirming that any entity receiving public funds from the City of Indianapolis must agree to abide by the terms of our city's Human Rights Ordinance. The order also requests that the Indiana General Assembly and the Governor expressly add sexual orientation and gender identity as protected classes in state law. Indianapolis will not be defined by this. Indianapolis welcomes everybody.
"57-year-old Floyd Dent says he thought he was going to die during a police traffic stop in suburban Detroit.
He came to the car with a gun and told me, I'll blow your brains out. Get out the car.
According to a police report, officers say they saw Dent enter a motel in an area known for drug dealing. After he leaves, they pull him over when they say he runs a stop sign. Dent, who says he never stopped at the motel and was just headed home after work, denies he did anything wrong.
When the police lights was coming on, I didn't really think they was stopping me.
William Melendez, the arresting officer, writes he believes Dent was fleeing when he failed to stop right away. Seen here on a police dashcam video, Melendez approaches the car, gun drawn, as Dent opens his car door and is dragged out.
So as I was trying to get out the car, they yanked me out the car, and throws me to the ground. And start beating me upside the head, and choking me. I'm begging for my life. I'm telling the officer I can't breathe.
But police say he did not fully comply. According to the police report, Officer Melendez says he saw Dent turn towards the center of the car and feared Dent was reaching for a weapon. Next, they say, Dent threatens to kill the officers. Melendez says he starts to punch Dent only after Dent, quote, bit down on his forearms. In fear of being bitten again, he writes, he struck Dent several times with a closed right fist.
I didn't bite anyone. I didn't have time to bite anyone, but he was too busy pounding me in my head.
After the incident, Dent is shown here, swollen, bloodied, battered. He spent 2 days in the hospital. Officer Melendez is shown here on the right.
They treat me like I killed 100 people.
In the police report, officers say they were only protecting themselves during the January 28th incident. But a judge who saw the video dismissed resisting arrest and assault charges after seeing the tape. Dent was charged, however, with possession of crack cocaine, after police say they found it under the passenger seat of the car. He's pleaded not guilty. But Dent's attorney says video of Officer Melendez pulling out what appears to be a plastic baggie from his pocket is proof that the police planted the drugs.
We have on video this officer searching the car and testifying, oh, allegedly I found it under the passenger seat. Of course, my client's fingerprints will not be on that bag. We all know that.
The drug charge still stands.
We respect our police officers, but we do hold them to high standards, and we do hold them accountable for their actions as well.
At a press conference last week, City of Inkster police and community leaders said an investigation into the conduct of the officers is underway, but would not comment on any specifics.
We started this investigation. We're not hiding from it, and we'll follow the facts and act accordingly.
Dent has worked at the Ford Motor Company for nearly 40 years. He's never before been arrested.
This is some type of cover-up, okay? They trying to cover up for what they did.
Melendez, a veteran officer with 24 years of experience, has been put on paid administrative duties until the investigation by the Michigan State Police is complete. CNN attempted to reach Officer Melendez several times by phone, email, as well as through the police union. We still haven't gotten a response. Nick Valencia, CNN, Atlanta.